Okay, this is my daughter Rebecca. She's my second eldest, and she loves being in the camera. Hello, Rebecca. So she is in the middle of making some sourdough. Now, there's a bit of a story with the sourdough. I nearly threw it out this morning, thinking it was rubbish because it's being very domesticated, and I nearly threw out the starter.
You can see how many bubbles there are now.
There's some bubbles in there. Rebecca reacted. In a way, I thought one of her children was being murdered, but I soon stopped throwing the starter out. So,
Alright.
and this is Annabelle and this is Lizzie. So, Rebecca, what are we doing with the sourdough?
Okay, so we've mixed flour and water together, and then we've just let that sit.
Yep. And then, as you can see, it's really gloopy.
Really gloopy? Thank you. Thank you,
It
Annabelle.
smells like glue. It obviously might work as glue since it's so sticky.
Thank you.
And
Thank
you
you.
might have to add more water.
Lizzie's excited because she may get on YouTube at the moment.
Alright, so we're just adding 200 grams of the starter
Starter going in.
to...
Gently, baby, gently.
You gotta get in there. Don't be afraid.
So what are we doing now, Rebecca?
Okay, so now this is the starter going in, and you just want to mix.
If you want to take out more,
Together.
just subscribe. Yeah.
Subscribe. Wow.
Oh my gosh.
And that's how you turn into a famous YouTuber. And you can make your own sourdough without instructions.
Okay, now
Just
we want some noise from the mummy, not from the grandchildren.
Oh my gosh. Alright, so we're just folding the starter into the flour and water. And you can feel it breaking. I sort of folded it through and you can feel it like breaking through the bottom of it there, and you can feel it's coming through. Right, now we need some salt. Annabelle, do you want to find me some salt from the cupboard?
Annabelle, going off for the salt. Rebecca, how has your holiday been with the Griffiths so far?
It's been wonderful,
Thank
actually.
you. Awesome.
Especially
Good answer.
that my starter didn't get the kill.
How much? How much?
Hang on. Lizzie, hop down.
Is Lizzie being obedient?
Hang on.
How much?
Hang on. We got to we've got to add 20% of the weight in salt. So we need to add 20 grams.
So we
So
need to add
you might need to
20
get the bigger salt, Annabelle.
Okay, so can I put it in?
Uh-huh.
Oh.
Slow process. I didn't really set up. I need to set up a little salt. See the big salt?
So we're adding 20% of the weight of the starter, or the...
So we've got this big
Like this.
salt.
Okay. Thank you, Annabelle.
Okay, so go to 20 grams.
So we're estimating 20 grams.
And you don't
So
do
we're just
this
weighing it.
all right.
Oh, we're weighing it.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
we're on the scales
If
at
you
the moment.
don't do this all right, it'll turn out.
Okay, slight problem with storage space on my phone, but we're carrying on. So, Beck, what are we up to now?
So we've added the starter to the flour and water.
Mm-hmm.
We've added some salt, and then the salt made all the structure fall apart a bit. And then you just give it a little knead to bring it back together. Now it's a nice cohesive ball. We're just doing a pull out, fold over, very gentle method.
How long do you do that for?
You can not do it for long, but maybe a couple of minutes.
Okay.
So once this is done,
So, how long do we need to do this for?
so we just fold this for a couple of minutes until it becomes more cohesive ball. And then we can just let it in a container with a lid, rest for half an hour. And in half an hour we'll start a few folding sessions to build some gluten strength in it.
Okay,
And we leave it for half an hour.
cool. So what are you doing now, Beck?
Okay, so I'm doing what's called a stretch and fold. So you just wet your hands, lift your hands under the dough, lift it up, fold it over. You kind of do that on all corners until you've tucked it all into a semi-ball type situation. Almost there.
I think this is a bit easy, Beck. I think I could do this
Yeah,
sourdough thing.
you'll be right.
Everyone talks as if it's hard.
It's not hard, it's just a few steps at intervals. And then back to sleep for another 30 minutes.
Okay, Beck, we're back with the sourdough
Alright,
bread making. So what have we missed so far?
We've missed about 3 hours of every half an hour or thereabouts doing that little shaping we did earlier.
Okay.
And as I was saying, that gives it the structure. And you can just see the difference.
Sorry,
now.
I'm just wondering, Beck, can we just see your lovely blue eyes for a minute? Thank you.
Oh my gosh.
Thank you.
Okay, now you can see how bubbly and airy it is. So this bit you don't want to be too rough because you're going to lose all that beautiful air.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to try and cut it in half. And what we do is what we call a pre-shape. So really it's been a bit rough, but just rough ball,
What sort of shape?
just a rough ball.
Uh-huh.
Sort of tucking in the edges as we spin it round. And then we leave that to rest for 10 minutes.
Huh?
And then we do what's called the final shape. So we'll give that 10 minutes rest. Sort of being gentle but not too timid with it.
Okay.
And then we'll give that 10 minutes rest, bench rest this is called, and we'll come back to the final shape.
Okay, back to the sourdough. Thank
Okay.
you, Beck.
Alright, final shape, little dust.
Now I know why I buy bread at the shop. Seems complicated and hard.
Flip him over, shaky shake, flip him up, seal that down, pull it out, seal that down, pull this out, seal it down. Alright, let it sit for a sec, seal it in, and we flip him upside down.
What do you just? Is that cloth wet or something? Or?
No, the cloth's got some flour over it so it won't stick.
Oh, okay, right.
And it's gonna stay in a cool room,
Mm-hmm.
in a cool refrigerator even, and
Okay.
tuck him up, and then we'll bake in the morning.
All right.
And we'll do the same with the other.
So this goes from here
Into
after
the
all the
fridge.
folding in the
Yep,
fridge overnight,
overnight, and then it'll be baked in the oven.
and then bake it in the oven
Yeah,
tomorrow.
so-
And the same goes for, and we'll watch you do this one too because that was pretty amazing. Notice the professional zooming in and out of the camera.
Want to basically make it like an olden day nappy because they folded it up like really like in a ball.
That's right.
And they
It's
finished.
Annabelle again. She's come out of the garden. She's gone into the kitchen.
Can I have one?
I'm gonna put you dust him with some flour.
Not too much.
Right.
But
Flip
just
him
enough.
upside down
Ready?
in here. Oh, just
Right.
be a little salty.
Gently.
Want to put
You've got to have
enough
apprentices,
that
Beck.
it's-
Yeah.
You want to do enough that you can like feel it and it's a bit like
Dry, so it's
Dry?
not sticky. And then into the fridge.
it can't be that dry though. Yeah.
Thank you, ladies. Smile.
Annabelle, and please subscribe and like this video before you keep watching. It really helps. Thank you.
Thank you, Annabelle. Okay, so
Alright.
Rebecca, my daughter, has been busy with the sourdough, so we're going back. This is, I think, step 327 of making
Brilliant.
sourdough. So what have we missed, Beck, and what are we up to?
Alright.
Can you show us the bread that you made too over there?
Oh yeah.
Alright. Maybe we should do that would be like an after.
An after thing. Okay. Yeah. All right.
I might have to trim that one. All right, you ready?
Yep.
Okay.
So what are we doing now,
so
Beck?
It's been in the fridge all night
Mm-hmm.
and nice and cold. So we're cooking it in a hot oven for 25 minutes with steam and then 20 without. So
Okay.
we're going to tip it on here, and Emma's going to help me. Just gently tip it down to there. Remove.
So it's been in the fridge all night.
Yeah.
And then what happens in the fridge? Why does it need to go in the fridge?
It stops fermenting. So the cold environment, it's called retards the dough. So it slows it, and so it slows the fermentation. It will still develop flavour because of the long time, but it's slowly ticking over. So we're not going to have an overproofed dough.
Okay.
Because it's nice and cool. If it was in a warm environment all night, it would just be flat.
Okay.
So now we've tipped it out. We've got a hot baking dish, and it's good thing about sourdough is you can use anything. You can.
So how do we get the baking dish hot?
So just put it in the oven,
And also,
cold, and then preheat it.
Okay.
So,
Does it have to be in there for any period of time?
so just until the oven's hot.
Okay.
And then your dish should be hot. Okay. So
and you get a blade, a bread blade that there you can get them from a cooking shop or
Yeah.
so
yeah.
just removing some of this extra flour. Now we school the dough next, and that
Okay.
it tells the dough where we want it to explode in the oven. If we don't school the dough, the air and the steam that's built up as it rises will explode anywhere it finds a fault. So it
Right.
will find a little crack and it'll just explode out the side. So
Right.
and then lots of people in the olden days used it because they had one central oven
Right.
in like a pizza oven in the centre of town,
Yeah.
and then they'd know what their loaf was amongst all their 20 neighbours because
right.
of their special scoring. So
Oh, okay.
so then
Right.
people still today use it as like a decorative thing as well.
Alright.
And there's some very fancy things on Instagram.
It's like what the Scottish do with kilts.
Yeah, it was like, this is my pattern and this
Okay.
is my loaf.
Cool.
So today we're just going to do a little cross,
Yep.
and we're going to have the blade at a 45 degree, at not a 45 degree, 90 degree angle, so that 45 degree angle.
Yeah.
So that it's quite close to the dough, because you don't want
Okay.
to do it like that because it will cut the dough
Right.
too much and it won't rise up. So we're back to that. We need quick action and just be confident with it.
Just like a surgeon just before he takes your appendix out.
All right, and then
You have to do.
sometimes you want to go over it a bit more to make sure that you've opened it up
Yep.
enough. All right, you can
Wow.
see all the air bubbles in there. It's very fragile, so at this point you want to move pretty quickly in the tray and in the oven.
So we've now popped it into the preheated tray.
And into hot oven. Do you want to come over towards the oven? Because we you can cook this in like a casserole dish with a lid, but if you don't have one of those, you can just put a tray of boiling water, and just before you want to stand back, because you want to create steam for the first 25 minutes, put some ice in there. That'll make steam, and then we time that for 25 minutes.
Wow. "25 minutes, awesome." But we cooked some sourdough earlier today. So tell me about this.
So this
Does that
one,
work out?
yeah, that's good. And you just want to make sure it's sounds hollow when you tap at the bottom.
Okay.
So 25 minutes with steam, 20 without. So we will remove that tray of steam.
So after 20 minutes, we take the steam out. 25 minutes, we take the steam out, and then cook it for another 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then this one, you want to cut it open because it looks amazing. You've got to keep letting it cook
Right.
in its own sort of warmth, and don't open it
Okay.
until it's cool. Because the inside there will be really gummy and tacky still.
So maybe later today
Yeah,
it can
later
be
today
cut.
we'll cut it and we'll have a look inside and see what it's like.
All right, cool. So once we do the steaming for 25 minutes, take the water out, then we cook it for 20 minutes. Is it done then?
Yeah, that's done. And take
Okay.
the whole thing out.
So this was an ancient way to lose weight, because literally if you were really hungry, you had to wait 3 days to get your sourdough.
And just
All
All right, thanks, Beck. Is there anything to add? No? Cool.
Just enjoy your bread.
Thank you so much. So we'll just presume that I've done all that because Beck's about to go out, and then we've ended up with 2 of these loaves.
And then we'll cut them and film them being cut.
Oh yeah, we'll film them being cut, and then you just have to imagine you're eating them. If you're really hungry, that is a good way to lose weight. All right, bye. Okay, thanks, Beck. Before you start cutting, so this is the first of the sourdough breads that was brought out of the oven this morning. So it's been sitting and is ready to be cut. And I'll just go over to this other one. This is the one that we pulled out just an hour or so ago. So we're going to let that sit for a while. But the wonderful Rebecca is now going to reveal what it looks like on the inside of this.
It might
sourdough.
look terrible.
It might look terrible.
Yeah.
But we will see.
If there's giant holes, that means we've done something wrong in the shaping. Hopefully there's even amount of holes spread throughout. Yay!
Wow, happiness from the cook and the
really
sourdough baker. So
Happy.
potentially there could have been bigger holes, Beck?
Yeah, if there was really like sometimes I've had a giant hole up here and the rest of it is really tight.
Okay.
So it means that it hasn't fermented properly and risen right.
So is this a particular sort of sourdough? Is this just is this like a white sourdough?
This is a white sourdough. It's got a little bit of wholemeal in.
Okay.
And yeah, it's
So
fairly
just
white.
apologies to all the viewers. My daughter is left-handed, but we still love her intensely, even more so.
You can see there's a bit of a but that's not too bad. Like it's not.
And that feels sort of moist, does
Yeah,
it?
it's very tacky.
Okay.
So
Okay.
because it's high moisture content,
Yeah.
it's very tacky. It's very moist, and it's kind of all this is like the gluten that we developed.
And are there any particular health benefits with sourdough bread apart from
People
Coles bought white bread?
People who are a little bit gluten intolerant find sourdough easier to digest because of the long ferment time. The proteins break down.
Right.
But other than that,
It's just a taste thing.
it's just a taste thing.
And there's
it's
no
also fun.
preservatives or anything in there?
No.
Okay.
It's just the flour. Just flour, water and salt. Unless you have
So
preservatives.
no
in it,
flavourings,
salt.
no preservatives, no additives. Just whatever flour you use and then the starter dough and away you go. So I'm going to close now and I'm going to eat this as much as I can because I've got 6 grandchildren here, but I will fight them to the death for it. So I'll sign off now. Thank you, Rebecca. Bye-bye. So finally, the sourdough bread. This is the taste test. Oh yeah. So good.